We'll move on to a new topic called triggers. Triggers in PL SQL. You have already learned in your theory portion what are triggers. We will be learning how to implement triggers using your PL SQL. Now, as you all know, triggers, they are stored programs. They, of course, they are even automatically fired. You always say triggers are fired, firing a trigger rather than executing a trigger. You say firing a trigger. It's even called executed. Now, these triggers, they are not simply executed. Triggers are executed when a particular event happens, when an event happens. So, they are automatically fired or executed whenever an event happens. Now, event means it can either be a DML or it can be a DDL or it can even be your database operation. Like, hope you remember your DML. DML means your delete, your insert, your update. All that is your DML. DDL, data definition language, the structure. Like, for example, creating a table, altering a table, dropping a table. All these are DDL operations. DB operations, you shut down or you exit. Now, all these are events. Now, when any of these events happen, you can execute or fire your trigger. Now, I'll quickly go through the syntax of triggers. You already know that, but still. Now, just like your procedures or functions, you write create or replace. Instead of writing procedure or functions, you will write the keyword called trigger, and then here you will give your trigger name. So look here, if you look here, create or replace function name check. Similarly, you will write create or replace trigger name. Now you have a few more extra things, like before a particular query or after a particular query, before, after, instead of. So these are the various instances in which it can happen: before a query, after a query, or instead of a query. Out of which after, this is going to be the most important. So this is what we will be concentrating on. Instead of, you can have, is it after an insert query, or it can be after a delete query, or it can be after an update query, or whatever. So you can write your insert query or your delete query or update query. So based upon either of this, either insert or delete or update, or might be both of these together, any combinations will perfectly work. The trigger should happen. Okay, you give even your columns, which all columns need to be updated, and then on which table. Okay, don't worry seeing the syntax. When you write it, things are very, very easy. And then you will even have referencing. Now, we have something called old and new. Okay, I'll explain that. Old as new as n. When any condition, okay, and then you'll have your begin, and then you'll have your end. Okay, this is the syntax. Now let's come over here. As I was telling you, you do have something called old, and you even have something called new. Usually old is written in capitals, OLD. New is also written in capital, NEW. Now let's see about what do you mean by old and what do you mean by new. Now, old means it holds a value, the old value. Very simple, the old value of the column. Like, before the trigger. Before the trigger was fired, what was the content? That is old. So you're very clear about what is new. New means holds an old value, holds an old value, and this holds a new value of the column. Now we'll see a very simple trigger, then only you will understand what is what. Okay, let's go to our columns. We'll just go for a very simple table. Okay, we have a table called class, isn't it? Select star from class. Okay, we'll go for small tables and then we'll go into bigger tables. Now look into this table. I assume all of you do have this table called class. Okay, I have a small table, star from IJ. I'll even do the desk class. Okay, both are number with a capacity of 2. So a very simple table. Now I'll do a trigger on this table. So I have a small question. Write down a question. Fire a trigger. Fire a trigger to change the value in class table. To change the value in the class table. Let's continue doing. To change the values in the class table. We'll do one thing. Before changing the values, let's find out what do you mean by old and what do you mean by new. Now let's create a trigger first. Okay, I'll just copy the syntax down and we'll write into the syntax so that you understand what is what. Okay, so I'm writing my syntax. Create or replace trigger. You can give a name for the trigger. So I'll write, let's say T1 or T class, whatever, give any name. Okay, I'll write T class because I'm working on my class. Create or replace T class. You can give either before or after or instead of. I'll give after. That means after every insert, after every delete, after every update, things should happen. Things should happen. Now, if I want all my tables of the, all my columns of the table to be updated, I simply need to give on, what is my table name? On class. Okay, which means I am creating a trigger called T class, which after any insert query, any delete query or update query on the table called class, something and all is going to happen. Okay, what all is going to happen, I don't know. I'll write it down. Okay, so that is the meaning of these two sentences. You're creating a trigger, and after, if I give it like this, the trigger will be fired only after the insert. Okay, if I give it like this, the trigger will be fired only after the update. If I give it like this, delete, only after a delete query, my trigger will work. If I give it like this, insert or delete or update, after every insert query, after every delete query, after every update query on my table class, these things will work. Okay, these are optional. Okay, so when you can give a condition, this is also optional. This is also optional, or you can give a condition like, whenever I is not equal to 0, this should happen. So I can just simply give when the new value. Okay, the new value is the new value which I'm going to enter, not the existing value. The new value which I'm going to enter is greater than 0. This is optional, very much optional. Even if you don't want it perfectly fine. These two sentences are mandatory. These two lines are mandatory. This is a completely optional, which means, the new value which you enter should be greater than 0. Okay. Now I'll have a begin, I'll have an end. Now let us find out what is the new and what is the old. I'll just copy
Ma'am,
DMS out.
syntax here.
Okay. I did forget to give for each row, which means, look here, I cannot stop on this row. I should go on till the last of my table. Okay. So I'll give over here for each row. Even I think in my syntax, I left it.
അത് കൊടുത്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യൂ.
All rows will not happen. All rows will not happen for each row. For all rows, it will not happen if you forget of this for each row, because you want it to happen from the beginning of the table till the end of the table. Okay, I just copied this over here. First thing what we'll do is we'll just find out what do you mean by old and what do you mean by new. Okay, now I'll just give old I is old dot I. Control C. Old J is old dot. So we'll take a new I. New I is old new dot I. Okay, I'll just do this much. We're finding out what do you mean by an old and what do you mean by a new. I'll just copy this. We're not going for any rocket science, just learning what do you mean by old, what do you mean by new. Okay, I do have a few compilation errors. Okay, now see, look here, when you give your old and new, you should precede it with a colon. You should precede your old and new, these variables, with a colon. Okay, trigger created. That was the error. Now, when I typed, I forgot that colon. Whenever you're using your old variables and your new variables, do precede it with a colon. So now what I've done is I have now created a trigger. Now, as you all know, trigger means, it should happen when you either insert or delete or update. So, let's simply do an update. Update class. Okay. Set I is equal to 12. I is 99, 99, 17. I'm changing this 99 to 12. Where J is equal to 17. Where J is equal to 17. Hope my query is clear. Where J is equal to 17, I am now updating my I to 12. No, look here. This is an update query. I do have over here after update. So, the moment I run an update query on the class, something and all should happen. Okay, all this is going to happen. Okay, let's see what will happen. Okay, when I run that query, automatically this thing happened. Old I was the I which was there before the trigger, the old value before the trigger. The new, this is the new. How did I get 12? I get 12 because I've now changed it to 12. Now, let's see the content of my class. Select star from class. Look here. See, that 99, it became to a 12. This is what you mean by an old variable and the new. These are called referencing variables in triggers. Old and new. Okay. Insert into class values. Just a minute. Okay, so we are inserting values, let's say 34 and 45. Okay, now you need to keep in mind you actually had no values over here. You're inserting two new values, 34 and 45. A new row is coming, an empty row, which means no, you actually did not have an old value over there. Okay, I'll hit an enter. Okay, you actually did not have an old value. That is why I'm getting an old over here as empty. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
there was no row. I inserted a new row, which means old is empty. Now I get these values over here because I've even given after insert. So after even that insert query, this particular trigger would be called. Now let's, what else do we have? Even have delete. So let's see delete. I'll delete from class where I is equal to, I'll just delete of this thing where I is equal to 12. Okay, one row deleted. You want to delete away this query, things are very simple. Drop trigger. Okay, I'll not drop it now, I'll just do a few more things and then at the end we will drop it. Okay, now you can even do all these mathematical calculations with this old and new. For example, if imagine you want to find the difference, you can simply declare, let's say x, a number called x, and then I can find out x is equal to what? The new I minus the old I, and I can display the difference. X is x, but mind you, you should have all these columns over here. New I minus old I. Okay, so I'll just do it once again. I'll copy this. I'll paste it. Okay, the trigger has been created. Now let's insert something. Insert. Okay, insert. You will not get a clear difference. We'll update. Okay, hope you know that. Insert, you'll get a 0 value over here. So it means the difference will be the new value itself. We'll go for update. Update class set I is equal to 30. Set I is equal to 30, where j is equal to 45. Okay, I was 34. I am now making I into 30. I was 34. I made I into 30. The difference is minus 4. And I've updated a row. Select star from class. Okay, I don't no longer have the 34. Instead, I have this 30. You can do all those manipulations on your variables. Only thing is, never forget to precede it with that colon. If you want to delete away, very simple, just like you drop a table, drop the trigger. What was our trigger? Our trigger was T class. Okay, T class. The trigger is now dropped. So I don't have the trigger on that particular table.
Ma'am,
Okay, so now we'll continue on your triggers. So I have a small question. Change the values. Okay, sorry. Fire a trigger. Fire a trigger which does the following. Fire a trigger which does the following. It should be fired in your insert or your update. Or not that. Insert. Let's do it on a delete or update. Okay. It should be fired on the delete or update of your class tables. Okay. Now imagine you are deleting a value the old values should be stored into a table called new class. Okay, imagine you are deleting away any value. You are creating a backup of that particular value in your new class. And even if you're updating any value, the old values, okay, when you delete, the old values should go into the new class. And even when you update the old values, it should go into a new class. Okay. So that question is clear. I've just copy pasted my old trigger. We'll modify this. So I'm creating a T class new. Okay. After they've told me very clear, I just need to do on my delete and update. Okay. After the delete or update on the class, not only for one row, for each and every row, I need to be doing some things. I'm not very sure about what all should I do, but anyway, I should be doing some things. Now, all what I want to do, I will keep it away. Now, what all should I do? If I am deleting, the old values should go into a table called new class. So what should I have first? I should have a table called new class. So what I'll do is I'll create a table, new class, uh, new I. Okay, new I will be a number, the same thing, number size 2. And even I'll have a new J, which will have a number of size 2. Okay, I've created a table. Okay, there's a table with nothing inside, an empty table. Okay, there's nothing in my new table. I've created a new table. Now, what are they telling me? If I'm deleting, put it into my new class. If I'm updating, put it into my new class. Now, how do I insert values into my table? Insert into new class values. Okay. Now, what values should I put in? I should put in my old values, which means, my old I and my old J. I should put in my old I and my old J into my table. So old, comma, old dot I and my old dot J. I'll just have some output anyway. I do have the statement over here. Backup created. Okay, now I've created a backup. I'll put it that side. Okay, that trigger is now created. Now let me update. Update class set I is equal to 40, where J is equal to 45. This 30 is gonna move to 40. Okay, 30, 45, it's going to be now 40, 45. Okay, I'll hit an enter. They're telling me backup created. Anyway, let's see whether the backup is created. Select star from new class. In my new class, the old values should have gone. The 30, 45 should have gone. Let's see. Yeah. In my old new table, NI, NJ, I do now have a 30 and a 45. The same thing will happen even if I delete. Delete from class where J is equal to 12. I'm planning to delete off this particular row, 10 and 12. Okay, they're telling me backup created. Select star from class. Okay, my 10, 12 from my class, it is gone. 10, 12 from my class, it is gone. Let's see in my new class. Yeah, I have a backup in my new class. So this is how you normally create your backups in your DB. You can fire a trigger. Like, whenever you delete or whenever you update, have a backup of all of that in another table. Okay, so that's fine how to create a backup. Now, look here, you did a delete statement, you did an update statement. Let's say you want to find out, together with this, you even need to find out, like, find out which operation happened. Okay, you want to find out, did a delete happen or did an update happen? Okay, so for that, you do have keywords called updating, deleting, inserting. All these are keywords. Okay, now let's say I write if updating. That means, if updating is happening, then I'll just write over here. I'll just copy this. Update. Okay. Else if. What else do I have over here? Update and delete. Okay. Else if deleting is happening. If deleting is happening, then you can write delete. Okay. Else if inserting is happening, then you can write insert. I'm not writing inserting because I just have a delete and an update. Don't forget to end it up with an endif. Okay, I'll just copy it. I'll put it that side. Yeah, I've created a trigger. We played with our tables, and now you don't have anything in your table. Anyway, okay, we just have two things. That is fine, perfectly fine. Let's work on an update. Update class set j is equal to 456, where I is equal to 40. Okay. I'm having an error. Just a minute. Desk class. Okay, it can take only 2. It can take only a size of 2. 99. That's the max. Set j is equal to 99, where I is equal to 40, which means when I've done an update query, okay, my trigger worked and they're telling me I updated. Okay, let's do a delete query. Delete class where j is equal to 99, because now a j became 99. They're telling me the delete happened. No, there's nothing in my class now. So this is how you can find out which operation happened. You have keywords called updating, deleting, inserting, and so on. We will learn about error messages. How do you show error messages in triggers? Now, these error messages, just like we have this DBMS output line and all that, you do have something called race underscore application underscore error. And then you can give your error message over here. Whatever is your error message, you can give it over here. Now, if you look into your, see, usually when you get error messages, see, these are inbuilt errors. These are inbuilt errors. Now, you can give your own error messages. You can give your own messages like, ANS error or error in my DB, whatever. Okay, so rather than this coming, you can be happy with your own error messages. Now, when you give error messages, if you look over here, see, this comes with a number. It comes with a number and an error message. The same way, you should be having a number and then your error message. I can simply have an error message like, error. And then I can have a number. Now, this number, Oracle has given some numbers for user-defined error messages. It is nothing like a number, it is a range. You can give any number between the range 999 to 20,999. No, minus 20,000. Okay, like 999. You've got 999 numbers, user defined 999 numbers. You can give any number in between this particular range. Like I'll show you how to raise an error message. You are inserting, okay, backup created, okay. I'll continue writing over here. Okay, if new dot I, like I am updating or deleting or whatever, and if the new I which I give, if it is less than 10, which means I'm not accepting any values less than 10. New values, it should not be less than 10. Okay, I'll just paste it over here. Then raise application error, I'll give any number. I can give any number provided it is in this particular range. Okay, I'll copy my code. I'll copy this. I'll go that side. I'll put it here. I do have some errors. Okay, I did an if statement without an end if. So I should have an end if because I have an if. Copy. Okay, so that was my error. I did have an if, I did not have an end if. So that's done. Now I will do a update. Okay, so before that, let's see what's there in my table. Select star from class. Okay, I'll update class set. Now look here, I put an error. I is less than 10. Okay, set I is equal to 1, which means this error should be caught. This error should be caught. That what I've told is if the new I, the I which I am giving is less than 10, then an error should happen. Let's see. If I is equal to, set I is equal to 1, where j is equal to 77. Okay, look here. I caught an error. Actually, there's no error in my query. My query is perfectly fine, but I am raising a user-defined error. Look here. These are system errors. These are system errors. They're telling me in the trigger called T class new, an error has been caught up and all that, but the error is this. Line 1 is this line. Yeah. 20,999 minus 20,999. That's the number which I gave. And then the message which I gave. So this is how you give user-defined errors.